If that's the centre, that's
I need
450. That's where the oven will end. That's kind of what I thought. The wall serves two purposes. It's for the range hood, and then on the other side, it's for a
backing
fireplace.
thing. And we also need it to be
And
central,
they have
so
to
the
be
flue actually
You're
goes
still talking
central.
while I'm trying to finish talking?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun. Better go get this delivery then.
Oh, God. Gotta love the reality of home renovations. Jono is right, though, and also I do talk over him a little bit. Soz. So the kitchen in our cabin, look, it's in a great position. It's got a lot going for it in terms of potential. Let's just say potential, but it did leave us a little bit wanting. So we did want to very much start from scratch in there. When it came to the kitchen design, the first thing that we did was really nut out our appliances. I really wanted to go a beautiful old school oven. I wanted it to feel farmhouse, a little bit kind of cottage. I wanted it to have some character. So I actually chose the brand Falcon. So I actually went out to the showroom with Jono. It's the Andico Australia showroom, and they have all of the Falcon range on display, and they are just beautiful. So many great colors, so many good options. I feel bad now because I chose black in the end, but I think black is going to be a really strong element in our kitchen, and that black is going to play really well to some of the other colors I'm going to bring in with the cabinetry. So I actually went with the classic induction cooker. That's the induction cooktop.
Yes.
You very much wanted induction, but often when you go induction, you sort of lose that old school flavour. So it's lovely to be able to bring
You
that.
lose the dials, don't you? You use the tactile
Yes.
dials.
Yeah.
It's all touch screen
That's
buttons
it.
and
Yeah.
And so this is the 900.
Yeah, it's a 900.
The size, we are a little bit limited with our design. I'm going to go into that a little bit later to talk to you about the overall layout and how I made some of the choices. But to start with, I knew we couldn't really push bigger than that 90 centimeters. At the Andico showroom, they also had all of the Liebherr range as well. We actually want to do an integrated fridge freezer. That was really important to us because we wanted to really create a beautiful custom cabinetry solutions. Again, we didn't have a ton of space, so we couldn't choose this insanely awesome, you know, double French door fridge. But what I really like about this range is that even those smaller sizes, they maximize the space. So when you're opening up your fridge, even if it's a smaller size and it's more slimline, it's actually got a lot more usable space.
when you said we want to maybe go built-in this time,
He was like, let's
I'm
do it.
like, well, you got to look at this brand
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, if you're going to go
as
into
one of your number one options.
Yeah.
And I'm 90% sure this is what your parents have put in 3 houses now. They've always had this one.
Nothing but the best for my parents.
Yeah.
So Jono and I actually chose those appliances first, and it feels like a lifetime ago that we chose the appliances, because then we had a lot of work to do to kind of catch up to that. So we had made the decision for that first, and then we had to really nut out the layout. Essentially, we're keeping a layout that is similar to what was there before, but we want to improve the functionality a lot more. We want to bring in a lot more storage and just make it far more efficient. That's the aim of the game. But I will say that we basically had to end up in the kitchen with green masking tape, just like taping everything out. We had to visualize it. We had to really see what it was going to look like in the space.
All right, that's where the current bench ends.
Okay.
Just for reference, it's going to go another 100 mil that way.
So
So what was your...
oven is 900 wide. Oh, so it's basically going to be pretty much exactly where it comes to now.
No, it's going to be a little bit shorter. The current bench is here. The new bench is going to end here.
Yes,
So we're buying ourselves a bit of more space.
you want to go bigger. I don't know, isn't that too tight to that? If I was going to do girl measurement, I'd hold my
Smooth.
finger in the
Yeah,
air.
but that won't...
Can you please measure me there to there?
Well, the smallest current opening is about 1,040, and then it will be 900. So you got to be able to get the oven in and the fridge.
I don't know, but it's good to do. You drew on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good thing we're replacing them.
That's where the bench top ends.
So we're knocking
So we're
this
like
down. The bench top will
70
come
mil.
in. And then
It's
how...
just 75 mil. And then we need a backing plate for the oven. So the oven goes from here to here.
And I think you need a
bigger.
1.1 metre backing plate to go up the top.
It's 100 mil each side. You want 100 mil each side of the range hood.
Yes, I do. I think it'll...
Why?
because I think flush will look really tight and awkward.
I need to see it installed.
Why do you need to see it installed?
I just wanna see it.
I'm telling you what'll look good. Just listen to me.
No, I need to see it because you're
Well,
not the
I've got
best
an
at
example.
explaining things.
They're all on big walls.
I understand that.
No one's trying to do what we're
I
trying to do.
understand that.
And that looks stupid. No offense, whoever did that image, but that looks silly. See how it goes? No, go back to that. That's what I want to avoid. So can I just show you, go back to my design real quick? Let me, 2 seconds. So that like needs an internal wall.
So you want it to look like that?
Yeah. So the sheet size of the tiles is 295. It's going to run all the way along here. So what I want to do is here have the same sheet size. So it's like 295, and I want this wall to then be that height. So to come down, because it would be very nice.
Alright, we need to measure it.
I know, and it would be very nice to actually be able to see into the other room. It'll open the space up.
Okay, well that's what I'm working at right now. All these measurements.
We won't use it as
That's why
random
there's
storage space.
funky green
But-
tape everywhere. I think it will look better if it goes all the way to the bottom of the range hood.
Well, maybe we can do that.
Which
I'll
is
get enough
to
tiles
there.
to do it.
To the bottom of that.
So you want it like that, basically.
Yes. And
Yeah,
then
okay.
we can also set the height of our range hood to be exactly the height of those tiles.
Anyway, so now we're trying to work out what happens on the flip side. So it's not a simple kitchen design. It also impacts our living and entertainment space.
basically touches the wall. It looks ridiculous, and I was going to try and put a bigger TV because I wanted to shift it all that way.
Okay.
Doesn't-
What if we buy it another, what if we make that 50 mil less?
I think you've designed from the fridge and gone around in a circle.
I have.
Whereas
Oh
I've
God,
got a
Bunnings is
delivery.
here.
Oven, I always envisioned it being directly centered with the pitch of the roof because we need to build a wall. If we build a wall that's not centered to the pitch of the roof, have a
It's
look at
gonna
where
be-
the oven ends.
Yeah,
The oven ends at the center of the roof.
All right. Well,
So
can
does that
you?
work? Maybe that does work if it's exactly in the center, but I need to go get a laser and point a laser directly at the center of that bit, and we either center the oven there, which it might not fit because if that's the center, that's
need to-
450, that's where the oven will end. That's kind of what I thought. The wall serves two purposes. It's for the range hood, and then on the other side it's
It's
for
for
a
a backing
fireplace.
thing, and we also need it to be
And we need-
central
they have
so
to
the
be
flue actually
Are you
goes
still talking while
central.
I'm trying to finish talking?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun. Better go get this delivery then.
Oh God. Gotta love the reality of home renovations. Jono is right though, and also I do talk over him a little bit, soz. But now I need to reconfigure the design to work to that center pitch, which basically means all of my design is fine. The only thing that's not fine is this oven side because it's just not in the right spot. Got to get the oven in the right spot, and that will then dictate what cabinetry I can do on either side so that we don't encroach too much on this pantry space. I mean, it's gonna be good. It's just doing my head in. And Otis has been crying, so that doesn't help. But he's asleep now, it's good. So let's go. Let's figure it out.
So I said that was
My
about the center.
guesstimate was wrong.
Yeah, but my guesstimate was right. I said that's about the center before.
That's not the center, that's where the oven ended. Don't put porcupines.
That's what I said.
Don't lie
I
to the
said
people.
the center is actually about where the oven ends now.
It took us quite a long time to work out, and granted we did have like quite a few Barneys. Arguments are important though, as long as they're productive. Arguments are important because you need to kind of push and pull and figure out what you both want. And you know, we both had valid points and things that we wanted, and I think we worked out a really good solution. We do have a couple of tricky elements in this space in that the kitchen does relate a little bit to the living area and how it wants to work on the flip side of that. That's a whole nother video entirely. There were a few kind of key points that we needed to sort out, namely that oven. I'll show you some of the layout that we've got at the moment. So we're maintaining this U-shaped design, and we're going to have cabinetry wrapping the entire U. And like I said, we're going to have integrated fridge freezer. We are going to go all the way up to the ceiling. Again, I want to try and just maximize everything and get as much storage as possible because we are definitely lacking in that. Above the sink, we're going to keep it nice and clear. We're going to be bringing in open shelving. Open shelving for me, always really important. I did it in the lawn house as well. It's just a great way to bring in a bit more character and personality, especially if you've got a lot of cabinetry in the space. The pantry is going to be just a modern extension of what's currently there. It sort of works kind of well well what's there at the moment. Again, there's just not enough order, so it gets quite messy. We don't have enough sort of storage space. So we're going to go to the ceiling for that, and we're going to just neaten it up a little bit. We will be pushing the kitchen out so it takes up a little bit more of the living space. And with that new width, we're also going to be celebrating it with a big fixed window. The best thing about the kitchen, and I mean this seriously, the best thing about that kitchen is the view, and it's just so lost at the moment because those windows are just shocking. Like, they're absolutely shocking. We need to celebrate that view, and I want that to be the thing that you just, you know, I love being in the kitchen and looking out that tiny cracked window. So imagine if it's not tiny and cracked and it's beautiful and big. That's going to be very much the focal point of that space. We then have the oven, which is essentially where it is at the moment, but we're going to center it up so it pretty much is opposite the sink. There'll be a bit more symmetry that way, and we're also going to have symmetry with the cabinetry on either side. There will be an extended internal wall that's going to run all the way up to our very, very high ceilings. To be continued. Thank you, Jono, future Jono, for building that for me. We're doing that for a couple of reasons. We do need to put a range hood in. We currently don't have one, and it does not make for a great cooking experience. And we'll also create a nice defined area for the kitchen, and then on the flip side, we can put our fireplace as well. There is nothing standard about this home, so custom really was the only way that we could go. So that's actually being made at the moment, and we are just kind of waiting for that to be ready. But until that is ready, there is so much work that needs to be done. We need to redo the floors. We need to gut the kitchen. Before we can gut the kitchen, we actually need to empty everything out. So we do have a fair bit of work to do before we can actually get to this stage. I'm excited, equal parts terrified. I think it's gonna be good.